the only country. It's just like, listen, that was an optical illusion. It was just, the sunlight was reflecting off the clouds and created something that you don't understand. No, 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 no. It's fine. It's fine. Yet the base has been subject to multiple sightings since the end of World War II. And people have had video, they've taken pictures, and still over and over and over and over and over again, it's been debunked. I'll leave that right there. As far as oh wow, I just went ahead and took us all the way to Friday. As far as Power Hour is concerned, we do have a very special guest. But before we jump into Power Hour, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, ZC Boston, 801 Mass Ave. Free parking, probably the only place where you can get good food, good music on the weekends, and have free parking. They have delivery, a 3-mile radius from Boston Medical Center, 3 miles all the way around. So yes, they deliver in Roxbury, in the heart of Roxbury, with absolutely no problem at all. And they deliver until 1 a.m. You can get half price sushi on the weekends. That is 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. Some of the best sushi you'll ever have. And Jerry does get his fish fresh on Thursdays, every Thursday. And do not forget to get your lychee martini, my favorite drink of all time. Shout out to Face Naturals Beauty. Get the activated charcoal teeth whitener, get the activated charcoal face wash, the pum pum wash, the deodorant, the rose infused oil. If your teeth need whitening, the activated charcoal it's like overnight. Not really, but it's absolutely amazing. That's Face with an S, Natural with an S, beauty.com. And don't forget, June 4th, Cruise Cares from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Blue Hill Avenue. That's at Franklin Park entrance. The Youth Summer Works Cruise Cares is going to be live tomorrow, talking about how they are investing in our youth by investing in their jobs program and making sure our kids have some money in their pocket. Shout out to Cruise Cares. As far as Power Hour is concerned, we have Parnell, and I butcher names, y'all. Marcano. He joins the cast of Greenleaf on the Oprah Winfrey Network. He has been in the business for 28 years. He used to be a singer with Miss Mary Wilson. We are so honored to have him on the line. Good rising, my king. How are you?
I am fine, my sister. Good morning. Can you hear me okay now?
We can hear you perfectly fine.
Yeah, I love that.
So I may have butchered your last name. Is it Marcano?
Yes, that's exactly right. Thank you.
Oh, yay! That's like 1 in a million.
Well, over the years, people call me all sorts of, Marcane, Marciano. I'm like, it's just Marcano. Real easy. But kudos, you got it.
Yes, that's that English as a second language. I don't know what the first one is.
Well, thank you for having me this morning. I'm so glad to be here.
Absolutely. We are so honored. You're an actor, a singer, a dancer. You've done it all, and now you will be casted as Carlton Cruz in the Lionsgate produced series of Greenleaf, which will begin airing on the Oprah Winfrey Network beginning last Tuesday. So this is exciting. How excited are you?
I am super excited. I mean, anytime you get a chance to work with Oprah Winfrey, of course, I mean, that's just huge. And then Glenn Whitfield and Keith David and Merle Dandridge and Lamont Rucker, and it's like the list goes on and on. I over the moon excited about this project.
What were some of the other names you said you're going to be working with?
Excuse me. There's Keith David and Lynn Whitfield. They are the bishop and the first lady of the Greenleaf Ministries, which is the fictional megachurch that the and Merle Dandridge plays the prodigal, as the ad talks about, the prodigal daughter who returns home to the family. And then, of course, Lamont Rucker, everybody familiar with Mr. Studley Man. And who else did I forget? Oh, and then me, Parnell Marcano.
He said, "Who else?" Oh yeah, me. How these are really big names. Lynn Winfield, I would have to say her best role, as far as I am concerned, is the one when she played the crazy chick with oh, what? It's a thin line between love and hate. Oh my gosh.
I love you.
When she beat herself, I was like, hold up, something's wrong with her. Something is wrong. But she is an amazing actress, Lynn Whitfield, as well as Keith Davis. This is huge.
Thing when I first got the role and I was flying out to Atlanta for my very first episode, and I really didn't. I think I had 3 auditions that week, and I got mixed up with which audition I was going on, and it wasn't until I was on the plane, and one of my friends would tell me, "Oh, that's Oprah Winfrey show," and he's running off the list of all the people that are in it, and I just almost had a heart attack. Like, oh my God, I'm going out there with all these people. Oh Lord, they don't think I'm a fraud. Send me home.
You didn't have confidence in thyself after 28 years, darling.
But you know, it's one thing because I've been primarily singing and doing musical theater and stuff. So getting into film and television has been kind of like, okay, you do a few things and you don't do anything. You do a few things. So this was the very first recurring guest star role that I had ever booked for a television series. So it's kind of a different animal than theater acting, and of course, you know, performing, you know, singing and stuff. It's a little different. And I got there, but everybody couldn't have been nicer and more welcoming and more encouraging. You know, like, oh, you're killing it, you're doing great. I'm like, okay. And they kept having me back, and I eventually ended up doing 8 episodes. So yay. I guess they didn't think I was a fraud after all.
No, not at all. After 28 years, how did you preserve yourself in the industry? I know you did musicals, but how do you maintain yourself in such a flimsy business? One day you're here, next day you're gone, but you've maintained over 28 years, and now this is like your pinnacle. Oprah Winfrey, this is huge for you. But how did you maintain?
Well, I mean, like most actors, you know, you have all your survival jobs that you do in between gigs. You know, like you make it a play or something that'll carry you for a couple of months, and then it's like, okay, now before that stops running, you got to hit the grindstone and be auditioning for other things. You know, I've done jobs as, you know, I've been a waiter, of course. You know, almost everybody who's ever been an actor has been a waiter. I've driven for Lyft and Uber. Then, of course, the gig singing. I still am out on the road occasionally with Mary Wilson, doing my oohs and ahs and baby, baby, babies on all those Supreme songs. And, you know, you just keep dreaming and keep going and keep hoping. That's the one thing most of my friends were like, I could not do that. I need to know where my paycheck is coming from every week. And I was like, well, yeah, I did that. But I would be in the office, you know, I did the jobs, and all I did was sing and stuff all the time. And people like, you need to get out of here. Your behind needs to be out there singing somewhere.
Yeah.
So go. And I just kept dreaming and kept plugging away. And here we are, working for Oprah.
Woo! That is big. I'm so excited for you. Like, we're both working for Oprah. So I'll go ahead and just claim that in advance. As far as Mary Wilson is concerned, because that name rings bells as well. How was it, or how is it working with Mary Wilson?
Let me tell you, I tell everybody that Mary is so much fun to work with. I mean, of course, the first time I was introduced to her, I went and back it up a little bit. Shirley Ralph does a concert, Diva Simply Singing, every year. And there was, this back in like 92, 93, Mary Wilson had been a performer. And the following year, she put the word out, like, you know, I want to try a male background singer for a change. And Shirley Ralph and my friend America Wolf called me and said, hey, would you be interested in singing background with Mary Wilson? I was like, hell yeah, you kidding? And I went and I met with her, and we just really hit it off. And, then 3 weeks later, I was on a cruise ship with two other singers, Robbie McIntosh and Iris Parker, who were 2/3 of the group Madam X. They were singing background with Mary at the time, and so I got in with them, and we were off and running, and here we are. That was in '93, and here we are in 2016. So off and on, in that period of time, I've been traveling the world singing with Mary, and she has been just warm and gracious and so encouraging of me as an artist, to get out there whenever we're out somewhere. It's like, oh yeah, my background singer Parnell, he's amazing. Go on out there and sing something. It's like, oh,
okay. She just threw you under the bus. Just go.
Yeah. She's encouraged. I auditioned for The Voice a couple seasons ago, and I didn't make the cut.
Hold on. How do you audition for The Voice and don't make it, but sing back up for Mary? Well, that's crazy. It's like, I'm already in the industry, baby. Like, this isn't a big break for me.
But I think it's one of those things where, it may be a thing of like, well, we have enough people of your type on the show. And I think that's one of the things that being in this industry so long is you have to understand that it may have absolutely nothing to do with your talent. Absolutely nothing. It's like they might have said, we got enough little black guys this season.
Wow. We have enough little black guys this season.
Right. Or it could be just somebody like, okay, other people may think you're a great singer, but the one person that is hearing you that day is like,
Is it too early to ask us for, can we get a do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do? Is it too early for that? Are we going to get that bass instead?
I can't fool myself. I don't want nobody else to ever love me. You are my shining
Hey.
My love fantasy. There's not a minute, hour, day, or night that I don't love you. You're at the top of my list, cause I'm always thinking of you.
Oh, my love. I'm over here singing in the background because I would never be anybody's background, honestly, but it's okay. It's okay. You did an amazing job for 6 a.m.
Work it out.
So I want to give a huge shout out to those that are currently watching on Facebook. Do not forget, share with your friends, because this is a really big deal. Parnell you may not know who he is now, but as soon as he gets on the OWN network, as soon as he starts moving and shaking, you guys gonna wish you watched this live, because you'll be watching it on replay. What was one with on tour with Mary Wilson? Which one was one of your favorite experiences, whether it's on a cruise ship or overseas or here in the United States? What has been your best experience throughout this traveling on the road, singing back up with Mary Wilson?
Wow, there've been so many, but I think the one that came to mind right away.
I know.
Being in London and performing at Wembley. And we were on the road at the time with the Temptations and the Four Tops. And at times the Temps used to bring up, a couple of people from the audience, to sing My Girl. And I said, please, can I do it this one time? And it's like, okay. And they let me get up there. So like, okay, not only am I regularly singing with Mary Wilson, but right now I'm singing My Girl with the Temptations in England.
Awesome. Wow, that's huge. Shout out to you. Who is your number one artist that you would love to work with?
Oh man, gosh, there are so many, but when it really comes down to it, I have been a fan of Janet Jackson since I was 9 years old, and I used to watch the Jacksons. Their TV show they used to have there. I used to watch that all the time, and of course, watching her Penny on Good Times, and then of course Charlene on Different Strokes, and then on Fame, and now I'm like, okay, you know what? If I could just have one time to just go out there with Janet and be on the stage. I don't mind if I'm even in the background, one of the dancers just kind of bopping, just so I can say before I leave this planet that I was on stage with Janet Jackson. That would be really cool.
So I know we don't know each other like that, Parnell, but I feel like you would be amazing in that like what if I was your girl, all the things I do to you.
You make you call up my name, mine of school it belongs to. Yeah.
I'm so hold on. What are the words? Because that used to be just a sentence where you're like, oh, no, and you actually know the words to it though.
Man, for real, baby. If I were your girl, the things I'd do to you, I'd make you call out my name. I'd ask who it belongs to.
Because you know that song came out before lyrics.com, before you could Google the lyrics.
Well, see, I missed those days when you had a CD cover, and, when you open it, all the lyrics would be printed. So you couldn't understand what was being sung. Like, what did she say there? Oh, okay, all right, okay.
Those were the days.
Those were the days. I used to watch those videos incessantly. I mean, because let's face it, Janet is the girl. She is the icon, that everybody that has come after has just really molded their image and stuff on like, okay, it's great that you can, be pretty and all this stuff, but if you got to be able to move the crowd when they watch you. They want to be able to see, oh man, look at Janet is dancing. Look, Beyonce is dancing. Look, everybody started really having to dance and perform and give that. Video just really transformed how performers have to be. Nowadays, you only got a few people like, you know what? You can sing so great. You don't necessarily have to dance. Like Mariah and Whitney are never big dancers, but they can sing their faces off.
Absolutely.
And that's my thing. People always go, well, Janet's not this, Janet. I was like, Janet is the all-around entertainer. Is she the strongest singer in the world? No, she's not. She's not a Whitney. But man, when she gets on that stage and turns it on, look out, that's star power right there.
Are there any? She said, "Hey, Janet, she'll be paying attention soon enough." Are there anybody? You'll be singing backup for Janet next. You want to speak into existence? When two or more agree.
Right. I receive that.
And I'm throwing them blessings at you.
What were you going to ask me?
I was going to ask you, you brought up Whitney, and I was wondering if there's been any stars of our past that have left us that you were able to work with or interact with that you really do miss, or that you were unable to work with that you wish you could have worked with.
Oh man, well, since I sung the Luther song, I gotta mention him. That was not like it was, is still a major influence on me as a singer, and as a performer. And get connected to Janet. 6 degrees of separation from Janet Jackson. That I have always been like, man, I never got a chance to see him perform live or meet him. But of the people that I have met was Teddy Pendergrass.
Ooh.
And he came to see I would say our show, I'm gonna claim it, our show. And it was backstage in Mary's dressing room. And I was like, oh my God, it's Teddy Pendergrass, and he was, in a wheelchair and stuff. And I was like, I know he can't necessarily feel me shaking his hand, but I need to, for me, be able to put my hand in his hand and just thank you for so many years of great music. I idolize this man. And here I am in his dressing room and he's sitting going, hey, good job out there. Like, yeah.
That's huge. Oh, yay.
Rolf. I forgot about Lou Rolf.
You can't forget about Lou. Don't do that.
Can't forget about Lou. He was such a nice man, and he was so gracious to me. I think at the time when I met him, my apartment was like up the street from a house that he owned. He said, "Oh, you right up the street from me. You're my neighbor. Here's my phone number. Give me a call." I'm like, "What?"
I hope did you use that phone number?
You know, I did not, and I kicked myself for that. You know, because it's one of those things like my mom always tells me. You know, say, "Hey, tomorrow ain't promised to nobody," and I kept thinking, "Oh, I'll call him," and then I didn't call, and then I was like, "Oh shoot, did I wait too long to call? Now if I call, he'll be like, 'Who is this?'" And then next thing you know, he had passed on. I was like, "Dang it!"
Come, Parnell, I'm gonna spank you. You should have. You were supposed to make cookies, some brownies. Hey, Lou, remember me? I'm your neighbor. You should have just knocked on the door and said, do you have some sugar? You could have said anything.
I should. So that's one of those things where if I could turn back home. Would go back and I would have called him that next day. "Hey, Lou, it's Parnell, your neighbor. I just want to call and just say, hey, to reach out so we can connect, we have movie night or something."
Exactly. Anything. And you missed that opportunity.
And lesson learned. Like Oprah says it all the time, and other people said as well. Success is when opportunity meets preparation. I had an opportunity and I wasn't prepared.
Wow. And you're owning it at least. At least you're taking responsibility.
That's my friends and I say that all the time. Well, own your stuff. We use another S word when it's just us, but
Yes, this is FM airwaves. But thank you for dumbing that down for us. When was your opportunity and your intersection of success? When did that start? How did that start? 28 years ago. How did that begin for you?
My very first paid professional job was performing at the amusement park in Denver, Colorado called Edith's Garden. And I was doing it was a 50s and 60s musical review called Stacks of Wax. Hey, everybody out there, Stacks of Wax. And I did that for 3 summers, like when I was in college. That was my summer job. And then I moved out to Los Angeles, and it's just been, the entertainment industry can be very hit and miss. You may be hot for 3 or 4 years and then not work for 3 or 4 years. So it was very much that roller coaster ride of varying degrees of financial success, but always continuing artistic success. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I was always doing a lot of stuff that may not have paid well financially, but was great artistically, and for me building a reputation in the city. It's like, oh, Parnell, oh yeah, I saw him in such and such. He was great. Oh, he's great to get along with. And that has always been my thing that I wanted. If I never become the big mega award-winning superstar, just to have people hear my name and know that I do good work. It would be great. And just be like, okay, well, I can continuously work doing this.
That reputation, just keeping your reputation up.
Reputation is everything. You got a lot of folks who are very talented, but after they become too difficult, the reputation for them being difficult to work with, all of a sudden, what did happen to so-and-so? It's like, well, all those temper tantrums and stuff that they threw on set, people are like, you know what, enough. I don't care.
I can't take it. I'm not working with a child.
Right. So my thing is, I'm like, okay, show up on time, be respectful of everybody that's there. I've been working on every project that I've ever worked on. I try to learn a little bit about everybody, try to learn everybody's names, all the set people, the costume designers and stuff. I'm like, okay, I want to know everybody's name, because they, it's I feel bad when people go like, hey, Parnell. I'm like, I don't know your name. So I'm like, okay, let me try to learn everybody's name and get along. And just, that's the one thing. Is like, when you're performing, especially on stage, don't mess up with the sound people. They'll
cut your mic real quick.
People. Like, what's wrong with my mic? I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, it's just been very many opportunities like that where it has now gotten to the point where people that I've worked with on prior projects, when they have something come up, they're like, hey, are you free on such and such a date from this day to this time? Like, yeah, okay, good. I got a part there I want you to do. Yeah.
See, yes. That's all you have to do is be respectful. And as far as entertainment is concerned, it's like a hurry up and wait industry. It's like you need to hurry up and be on time so you can wait all day long.
It is one of those things where, you may be called to set at 6 o'clock in the morning, but may not actually hit the set until, 10, 11 o'clock. That was, 4 or 5 hours later. Because you got to come in, check in, fortunately, I was always fed well. Thank you.
I know that's right. They have some of the best catering ever.
Exactly. But you got to watch it because you be at that crafty so much. The next thing you know, the wardrobe was like,
you can't fit this.
You came in here at a size. We have to keep letting your costumes out. We're going to need you to cool it a little bit. But that part, coming in, you may go through wardrobe and they may, okay, I want to fit you in this week's wardrobe. So you got to go in there and you take the hem up, whatever. Then you got to go over to hair and makeup and they say, all right, you need your haircut, you can trim your mustache up a little bit. All right, let me powder your face down, whatever. Then you go back, then you rehearse the scene, and then you shoot the scene. But I had such a great time, and I've always enjoyed what I'm doing. That everybody says all the time, when you find something that you love doing, it doesn't seem like work.
Ashe.
Yeah.
So for those that are just now tuning in, good rising, Big City 101.3 FM, Waking Up with Tayla Andre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. We're currently on the line with Parnell Marcano. He joins the cast of Greenleaf on the Oprah Winfrey Network. He is an actor, a singer, a dancer. He has been working with the legendary Miss Mary Wilson as an accompanied vocalist or a background singer. He also has a huge resume. He was a cast member of the NAACP Theater Award and GLAAD Award-winning play Children of the Night, as well as a cast member for the web series Old Dogs, New Tricks. Can we talk a little bit about the NAACP Theater Award and the GLAAD Award-winning play Children of the Night? What is Children of the Night, and what role did you play in that play?
Oh, yeah, Children of the Night. Oh, man, that show. It was created by my mentor, big brother, Steve Simeon, and he calls it a choreo poem. So it was a series of different vignettes and musical numbers that was depicting Black LGBT community. For those who don't know, a lot of times the gay community will call themselves the children. Like, well, you know how the children are. You better not wear it over there. The children will let you have it.
So why? Because I'm new to this. So why are they called the children?
I don't even know how it even started. It just became a thing. Just became slang. Well, you gotta watch out for the kids. Kids will be doing this. And there is that song, "Children of the Night," and we performed that. That was like one of the opening numbers of the show. And that song was about cruising that goes on in the parks, late at night when all the world is separate and there's dreams I want the shadows. And it just talks about those things that are going on back in the, before there was same-sex marriage and everything. The only way for gay men to meet was cruising each other in the parks late at night when everybody else was asleep. What's going on out here? And so the show was depicting that and how parents react to their child, being gay, dealing in it. But this was done back in 1990. Was the very first time we ever did it. And it grew from there, and it dealt with those issues of children, discovering their sexuality. There's one of the things I did was playing a character who had just found out that he was HIV positive and went to the club to dance his pain away. He's like, I'm just going to keep dancing as long as I'm dancing and I'm active and nobody knows, it's not real. And it just got to the point where he got to the point where it's like, I can't face this anymore. I'm scared to tell anybody. And I didn't know until later, Stephen had told me, said, there was a guy who ran out of the show at my scene. And I was like, what happened? And it turned out that he had found out that he was positive.
Oh, wow.
And didn't know how to tell his partner. And, so they're out in the lobby having this conversation. And you just never realize how powerful something is, how much it's affecting people until you hear stories like that. I used to hear people crying in the audience, and and at first you kind of think, is somebody sniffling? It's like, oh my God, they're crying. Wow.
And then your role goes from just being in a play to actually having a role in somebody's life and helping them overcome and cope with whatever they're dealing with. That's really huge.
It was huge, and it was just, a big production for everybody that was involved in it. Still give people today go, oh, when are y'all gonna do Children Tonight again? Y'all need to do that again, or you need to do an updated version of, and Stephen and I and a lot of the cast, we've talked about it. It's like, yeah, we should do it again. It's like, do we do it as a time period piece so people remember what it was like back then? Now everybody kind of takes it for granted. He's like, oh yeah, it's this, it's that. Like, yeah, but it wasn't always that way.
Yeah.
Back then there were no gay straight student alliances. There was none of that going on. So everybody it was very fearful and shame based and all that stuff. So now we got people who are kind of like, you know what, I'm gonna stand in my truth. And people, you can like it or not like it, but I'm not gonna live a lie just to make you comfortable. Which of course has been my model for many years. Like, it's not my job to make you comfortable with my life.
Of course we do. Of course we do. Of course we do. And I think that I do think that it should be a timeless piece where you do go back in time, like remember when, coming out of the closet was not, a fad. Coming out of the closet wasn't something that you just did for fun. It was life altering, life changing. And for many of those that did come out of the closet during that period, it was shameful. Wow. Well, shout out to you. So aside from Children of the Night, you were also a reoccurring cast member for the hit web series Old Dogs, New Tricks. Can we talk about that for a little while?
Yeah. Old Dogs and New Tricks was written by Leon Accord, and he just wanted to do basically an older gay version of Sex and the City sort of thing.
Hold on, that was one of my favorite shows in the whole wide world, so I might actually like this. Hold on, what is it now? Old Dogs, New Tricks. It's like a gay Sex in the City.
Yeah, and it's set in West Hollywood, and it really is asking the question, do gay men in West Hollywood ever grow up? And what happens to those after 40? And so these four friends, and they're just dealing with life after 40. It's like, okay, how do we navigate? Come on, Parnell, you can talk.
It's okay. English as a second language. We understand wholeheartedly. We don't know what the first language is, but English as a second language. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I started out when the project was a Kickstarter project, and was seeking donations. And so I gave a little bit of money and did some background work on the show. I did one of the scenes with one of the lead characters, and at the time, Doug Spearman was playing the role of Neil Kelly, which I took over last season. Doug was getting busy with his own film that he was writing and producing and directing. And Leon said, hey, would you be interested in taking over the role of Neil? Yeah, are you kidding me? I love the show. I've been attached to it from the beginning. Yeah. And so last season, I debuted in for the Halloween episode, and we just last weekend shot a mini movie to start off season 4, and it's just been a great thing to have so many people who still you don't realize that people are paying attention until someone say, "Hey, aren't you on Old Dogs in the Street?" Like, yeah, like oh my gosh. For so long, I'm like that a lot of times. I think ain't nobody paying me no mind. They ain't paying me no mind. They're paying mine.
A lot of people are paying attention. You just said something that made a lot of people tick, and they're trying to figure out how can they at you on Twitter. Can you give us your Twitter name? Because they want to quote you, "It's not my job to make you comfortable with my life."
Oh, yeah. Yes, I am at that Parnell guy.
That Parnell guy? That guy?
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, yeah, that Parnell guy, get him. I may change that a little bit later as folks start really knowing who I am. But right now, I was like, yeah, that Parnell guy. You know what? Marcano.
That's okay. That's okay. And I found him. It is that Parnell guy. Parnell D. Marcano is how else you can find him if you look up his name. And they're over there. We're gonna start tweeting you, baby. We're gonna start following and tweeting and figuring out how we can stay connected and stay in contact. So we're in your corner. We are gunning for you, baby.
Appreciate the love. I appreciate the love, and I'll follow you back.
Oh, okay now. Okay.
Other sister, yes, we will.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So can I ask a personal question?
Yeah.
Are you in the LGBTQ community?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
If you don't mind me asking, how was it for you coming out?
You know, for me, I mean, like everybody, I mean, I faced the fear and trepidation that you're like, oh my God, my mom and dad, they're gonna love me still, and all that, and I was in college when I came out to my mom, and I had moved out and was staying. I had moved into a friend's apartment just in case things went really south. I'm like, I'm not gonna be one of these people that get kicked out on the street because they're saying, and I told my mom, and she was kind of like, okay, all right. Is that why you moved out? And I was like, yeah. I didn't want to be homeless. She's like, oh no, I don't believe in that. So you don't kick your children out at the time when they need you.
And when was this? How long ago was this? I don't want to date you, but I do want to put this into context for people.
Yeah, I was 19, so that was 1980 something.
Yeah, we'll say that. We'll say 1980 something. Wow. And you know what? That is huge of your mother to say, and even today, 2016, there are children that are coming out to their parents, and their parents are pushing them away and, making them homeless and not in my house, not my child. And for 1980s, for your mother to say, no, baby, come home, get your stuff and come home. We're going to figure this out together. How supportive is that?
It was tremendously supportive, and I know a lot of people don't get that. And my mom, we had a moment where she was like, "Oh, where did I go wrong?" Like, okay, first stop, pump the brakes. We're not having that conversation. That there's nothing that you did wrong or didn't do right. There's nothing like that. It's just like it is what it is. The luck of the draw, And I had a conversation recently with my dad, who, like most boys, are terrified to tell their dad, and I was no exception. And I didn't tell my dad until years after I had told my mom and my sister. And when I finally did, his reaction was like, "Okay, well, different strokes for different folks." And I was like, all these years we could have had a closer relationship, but I was always, I think he knows and he's ashamed, he don't want it. My dad couldn't be more proud and more supportive. He's like, hey, you got a problem with him? You got a problem with me? That's my son.
What? Daddies don't say that. Daddies are like, and hold on, time out. You said you just recently had a conversation with your dad. So did you think he was in the dark? Did you think your daddy was in the closet about you not being in the closet?
Oh, no. I mean, he's known for many years now, but this is just a conversation that was back when I was like 20 something when I came out to him. But over the years, as an adult, our relationship has really changed and grown to where, I call my dad, fairly often. We try to keep in touch. It was something I would have never imagined when I was younger, because there was always that thing of kind of keeping a little distance. Of back in years ago when he was so like, hey, you're my son, whatever, you are my son. But we had never really had in-depth conversation, about it. Kind of like, okay, cool. And I think what made it different for me is I am my father's child. In many ways, I'm like, okay, here's the deal. I want you to know that I'm telling you this information not so that we never talk about it again, or not so, because if I fall in love with somebody, I want to be able to tell my family, hey, I met this guy, he's amazing, I love him, blah, blah, blah. Or if somebody breaks my heart, I need to be able to go, Mom. And so I was very much not one of those apologetic, like, oh, we love you. It's like, hey, here it is. This is who I am. If you're not ready, I have built up a chosen family of friends who I know have got my back. It's just like, hey, if your first family doesn't love you, we love you over here, and we'll support you. And I think so many people are finding out now, straight, gay, rich, poor, black, white, whatever, that even if your blood family does not support you, your chosen family can be that familiar support that you need. So now my mother and my sister came to my wedding 2 years ago to my husband, which was huge. My dad couldn't make it, unfortunately, but the fact that he wanted to be there meant a lot. But still now on the phone, when I talk to the phone, he was like, hey, tell Big Head I said hey. My mom was like, oh, tell Michael I said hi. And we just got back from an event in Puerto Rico, and he was talking to his mom on the phone. It's like, hey, tell Parnell I said hi, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's mutually accepted. Absolutely. And that's the way that it should be. That's nothing else needed, nothing else more to say. That's how it should be. For those that are just now tuning in, Big City 101.3 FM, waking up with Tayla Andre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. We're currently on the line with Parnell Marcano, actor, singer, dancer, backup singer for Miss Mary Wilson of the Supremes, NAACP Theater Award and GLAAD Award winning play, Children of the Night, Old Dogs, New Tricks, and he is currently has been casted as Carlton Cruz in Lionsgate produced series Greenleaf, which began airing last week, May 24th on Oprah Winfrey's network. Can you please talk a little bit more about your role and about your relationship or your up and coming relationship with Oprah, and what do you expect to come out of this, or what are you hopeful to come out of this?
Oh, okay. First, I got to tell you, so everybody knows, it's been updated. The show is now not going to start until June 21st.
Okay.
Back. Yeah. So June 21st, 22nd is going to be the premiere of Greenleaf. Carlton Cruz. How do I describe Carlton? I guess I can best describe the description that was sent to me for the audition. Is that Carlton is an obviously gay male who is a choir director. And so when I saw that, I'm like, okay, I hope obviously gay does not mean he's a screaming queen, because I'm like, oh, please, we got enough of that. Can we please just have a regular gay dude who, that's just the one thing about him. He's just a guy who just happens to be gay and go on with life. But to kind of, like, I wore the gayest thing that I had. I had this striped, kind of see-through shirt.
He said I wore the gayest thing I had.
scared thing I had. Like, I hope this will work. But then I just kind of kept, the essence of me is like, okay, if they want Screaming Queen, I can do that. But I hope that they will just be like, oh, okay, he's just a guy who just happens to be gay. Let's make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
And if I did something right, like 2 days later, I was on a plane to Atlanta to film the very first episode.
It was the shirt. It was the zebra stripe shirt. That's what did it.
As I told him, I guess the shirt worked, y'all. Carlton dresses a lot better than me because, ooh, they keep Carlton in some good clothes.
Hey.
But friends of mine who had all the auditions for the part of
okay.
That part is so you. You're perfect for that role. And which made me feel so appreciative and grateful that, like I was saying earlier, that people who have seen me work or have worked with me go like, oh yeah, that's you. That is you.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's amazing. And he just is one of those people who has also come to that point in his life where it's like, I've tried lying about who I am. I've tried not commenting about who I am. So this time, I'm going to tell you, like, here, this is who I am. Let me know if it's a problem right now. And I can go ahead and walk out the door and go to the next place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I find that when you approach people with that thing of like, hey, here's what I'm bringing to the table. Can you deal with it? Yay, nay, all right. They kind of go like, oh.
Okay, exactly.
I may not agree, but I'm going to respect you because you are standing strong
in your truth. Absolutely. Absolutely. So for those that want to call 617-282-0062, you can always remain anonymous, TaylaAndre. And I definitely will keep you anonymous. Again, 617-282-0062. Or you can hit me up on Facebook and remain anonymous, TaylaAndre. Parnell, what is it like in real Hollywood? Because we see all of these make pretend reality shows that are really scripted. What does real Hollywood look like? And is everybody really bougie and over the top, or are people for the most part down to earth and willing to help you and work with you? How is it in real Hollywood?
And it's very like I think in any other profession. I mean, people, actors and stuff get a bad rap for being fake and phony and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, there are those people who are all just about what can you do for me? How can you advance my career? But there are also many people who are very warm and welcoming and supportive. And most of my friends are other actors. And like I was saying just earlier, my friends who had auditioned for this part, not a single one came like, how come you got that, not me? Every single one was like, hey, if it couldn't be me, I'm glad it was you. We always support each other. We call each other up, like, hey, are you going through this audition for such and such and so-and-so? Oh, I didn't know anything about that. Yeah, it's at this time and so-and-so, call so-and-so, tell them I told you to come.
Wow.
So I get lots of stuff like that. When I mentioned Lynn Whitfield earlier, my first day of shooting, we were in the van heading back to our hotel, and she's like, oh, was this your first day of shooting today? I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, how'd it go? Did you have fun? You enjoyed it? Like, yeah, it's great. So, okay, well, let me tell you some places where you can go eat. You want to go over here? And she gave me a list of restaurants, and I'm sitting there going like, I cannot believe Lynn Whitfield is here giving me a list of restaurants to go to. She doesn't have to do this. She didn't have to acknowledge me, if she was that kind of person. But the fact that, because we're used to seeing Lynn in these movies where she's very tough and, she's kind of that, don't mess with her. She couldn't be more different. She's so kind and so giving. I was like, wow. Keith David the same way, very friendly, very warm. We did a scene where in between takes, Keith can sing too.
Are you serious, can he?
Like, yeah, Keith can sing. So in between takes, we're all singing Johnny Mathis songs and stuff, and I'm sitting going like, this is crazy. I'm sitting here singing Johnny Mathis songs with Keith David. And I had to remind myself that it was seemed I was standing next to him, and I had to remind myself it was okay to look at him. You can't look at you can't look at him. He's a star. You can't look at him. And I'm like going, but dummy, you're standing right next to him.
Exactly. You got to know your role, baby. You got to know you're just that. The fact that you're even standing next to him puts you in that place. You guys are 1-1. Aww.
Yeah, real cool, really cool. And Merle Dandridge, wow, beautiful, talented, and funny. And again, another person who came up and encouraged me was like, Parnell, you're killing it. You're doing so great. I'm like, thank you. So by the time my second scene was up, I was like, okay, thank you everybody for the encouragement and support, because I was so nervous about what he really wanted to represent. Well, like, okay, you're in the big league now. You know, you need to be able to say, okay, when I leave here, that okay, I can do this. And having those folks be there and be that family that, you know, you hear people all the time, and people, oh, we've become a family. People are like, oh, yeah, right. But many times it is very, very true. You spend so much time with these people that eventually, you know, you start meeting people's husbands and wives and girlfriends and boyfriends, their kids. And all these years I've been with Mary, I've watched her children grow up and have children of their own.
Oh, wow.
I know their kids. You know, she knows my mom and dad and my sister, and it's just like, wow, this is great. And I've been singing. I started singing with Velma Houston recently. Velma just had the band over to her house after a show we did here in LA. You know, she's like, yeah, come on, everybody, come on up to my house. I'll make a food. I just want to have a thank you dinner for everybody, just because I appreciate everybody working so hard. Like, oh, that's Velma Houston.
So you still get starstruck. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, on the outside, I'm very like, hi, nice to meet you. Yeah, great. And on the inside, there are times like I've been with Mary so long, you know, she's a friend, and it's not till we go somewhere that people start taking the pictures and the bands are clapping. Like, I'm with Mary Wilson of the Supremes. She's a friend of mine. She calls me on my phone and goes, hey, it's Mary. I want to know, can you do this? You know, and I take nothing for granted. I am just grateful for every opportunity that has come my way, that is coming my way, that has yet to come my way. Grateful.
And we are grateful for you because you're in California, correct? So it's 3 going on 4 a.m.
Ooh, yeah.
And you sang for us. You're so joyous. You would have thought it was good in 12 p.m. in the afternoon. Can we get some more octaves out of you? Is that possible before we let you go?
Oh, sure.
Is he the only male Supreme? I got you.
What you want here?
I want to hear another Janet Jackson song.
Janet Jackson song. Oh, see, now there's so many that come on. You know, you always saying that your love's true. Never will I doubt you. My heart belongs to you. That's all right with me. World could end around me. So in love that I can't see. You and me were meant to be. That's all right with me. Let's come, let's make go. My friends are real.
Hey.
Know that you have shown you're
all right with me.
To take to the end. I love till the end. You know that you, my friend, you're
all right with me.
Yeah. All right with me.
Oh, Parnell, you're so much fun. I can't wait to meet you.
You know, the feeling is mutual. I love your energy. Thank you so much for having me this morning.
Thank you for being with us. I love you. I appreciate you. Good luck with all your future endeavors. Last question of the Rising. For as long as you've been in the business, you've been able to persevere. What would you say to those, whether they're an artist, whether they're a singer, whether no matter what industry they may be in, you never give up. If it took you 28 years to get on the Oprah Winfrey Network, what would you say to those people that, it's been 15 years and they feel like giving up? It's been 17 years and they don't feel like they've reached their pinnacle or they'll ever reach their pinnacle. What do you want to say to the people that want to give up their dream and their passion and cannot sit in that cubicle without thinking about their first love, whatever that love may be?
Well, I meet a lot of people who used to dance, used to sing, used to draw, and I'm like, well, why did you stop? I said, even if you don't do it as a profession, if that is your art, I think everybody needs to have an artistic outlet. If you're realistically not going to be a famous actor, but you still like to act, you can still have your job in the bank and do community theater. You can still do that, and you never know, something may happen. I really was starting to question if it was ever going to happen for me. Before this roller coaster came up, I was like, well, dang, okay, it doesn't seem like I'm really making that big break. I'm working, and I'm grateful for that, but it doesn't seem like nothing big is happening. What else can I do that I would be good at? And I'm like, I could be good at other things, but what I really love to do is to perform. And then this role came up, and I was like, oh, if I had given up just a day before, I would have missed out on this huge opportunity. That never give up. Because people say, well, if you ain't made it in this business by 30, you might as well give up. I'm like, well, I'm sure you want to tell that to Samuel L. Jackson and other actors who really didn't start until they were in their 40s.
Wow.
So that's the great thing about being an actor. You can be an actor from birth to death, practically. They always need babies. They always need toddlers. They always need preteens, teenagers, 20-something, 30-something, 40-something. When you grow out, it's like, okay, well, I'm not the hot young thing anymore. Now I'm playing the dad. Now I'm playing the teacher. Now I'm playing the principal. Now I'm playing the doctor. Now I'm playing grandpa. Until, so many actors act on projects and they're like, oh, we just lost so-and-so died. So we have to, we'll write a death for their character in the show. This is the only job that you can do that. So if you're in your 40s and you're like, oh, well, I'm not the hot young thing anymore, guess what? You can still be the hot mom on the corner. Or the hot dad, like, oh, so-and-so dad is hot. Betty White is still.
Yes, baby. Yes, Betty White. That's my boo right there.
Right? So it's like, this industry always needs people of varying ages to do stuff. Tito Jackson just released a first solo album at 62 years old. Granted, he's been in the game for many, many years, but never as a solo artist. It would have been easy for him to like, well, yes, ain't never gonna happen. But he's like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. Before I leave this earth, I'm putting my solo album out. And I love that song. Do it, baby.
I love he sings for us. I love it when you sing for us. I love it.
But, my friends, they used to tell me, like, do you ever stop singing? I'm like, no, my life is a song cue.
Exactly. Don't ever stop singing. Don't ever stop. We've come all the way to the top of the hour, Parnell. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your energy. I want to thank Nikki Curry. Without you, this would not have been possible. My publicist, she ain't cheap, but she's good at what she does. Shout out to Nikki Curry. Shout out to Parnell. And I hope we'll be able to connect and I'll be able to wrap my arms around you and squeeze you tight because you are a ball of energy. And I love your positive vibes.
Thank you. Oh, let me thank my publicist, Stephen Little. Thank you so very much.
Don't forget the publicist. You know they make the world go round.
Publicist. You gotta thank a publicist and my agents, Todd and Guy over Across the Board Talent. Thank you. My husband Michael. Thank you, baby, for waking me up to make sure I was on time.
How can we find you, Parnell? Social media, email you. If we want to put you in one of our plays, how can we find you, get in contact with you?
Yeah, well, that Parnell Guy on Twitter. On Instagram, PD Marcano. That's PD, M as in Mary, AR, C as in car, AN as in Nancy, O, PD Marcano on Instagram, and Parnell Marcano on Facebook. And then, of course, for bookings, you may reach me through Across the Board Talent Agency.
You're so silly. Thank you so much, love. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you have an awesome day today.
Thank you, Tayla. Love you too. Mwah. Thank you.
Mwah. Anytime, anytime. Big City 101.3 FM. Waking up with Tayla Andre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, ZC Boston, 801 Mass Ave. Free parking all week long. Weekends, half price martinis. I wish it was half price martinis. I'd be there Monday through Friday. On the weekends, they have half price sushis. You have to dine in. They deliver until 1 a.m., 3-mile radius from Boston Medical Center. Shout out to Faith's Natural Beauty. Please get the activated charcoal teeth whitener, the activated charcoal face wash, the pum pum wash, the deodorant, the rose infused oil, and do not forget the Cruise Cares June 4th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. for the Youth Summer Works Project, so they can raise some money for these babies so they can have summer jobs. I want to do a dedication song. Shout out to Reggie B. This song goes out to Parnell. We love you, baby. I hope you're still listening. How about that, Reggie? We can't play it because YouTube will block us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. Parnell is such a ball of energy. He is so much fun. Thank you, Nikki Curry. Big shout out to Stephen Little for allowing this interview to take place. Woo! Waking up with Tayla Andre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. Tomorrow we'll be in the studio with a representative from Cruise Construction to have a conversation on Cruise Cares, and not just Cruise Cares, but what Cruise has done in our community as far as construction is concerned, as far as development is concerned. And I am very excited to speak with them about being the first Black construction company in the Northeast. How exciting is that? Mwah. Love you. Appreciate you. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Facebook, I'm going to leave you guys up. YouTube, I'm going to take you guys down. We can't play music because YouTube won't let us. I don't own the song, you guys. Mwah.